Hi everyone, this is Josh with Josh Wright Piano TV. Today's episode is another addition to the Lessons for Beginners series, and this is Pastorale by Burgmuller. Excuse me. This is a really fun piece. This video is dedicated to Kim, my private student in Ireland, and she introduced me to this piece. And so I let her kind of go through this book and say, whichever piece you'd like to learn, go for it. And she said, oh, I came back with I really like this Pastorale, and I'd never taught it before. It's actually quite beautiful. Let me just read through this for each of you. Really charming. If any of you don't know, Pastorale refers to the countryside, a beautiful, serene setting. So the Pastoral Symphony by Beethoven, you hear a lot of these same types of beautiful, serene, long phrases. It's not like a short little fast dance or something like a jig. It's much more extensive in the phrasing. Also, you are reminded of kind of shepherd boys playing their flutes or things like that. They often imitated those flute instruments in the pastorals. So we can think of someone out in the beautiful German countryside or something playing a long flute line. Now, the reason I say flute or whatever other instruments, the bagpipes, or not bagpipes, just like the panpipes or whatever those are, I'm not too good with other instruments, so forgive me here. But the reason I advocate for those is when you're playing a flute, you don't suddenly go da 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 da. You have to use continuous breathing, and I want you guys to each think of a long breath throughout this line. So don't suddenly ever go, or even if you're playing soft, see how uneven the sound is? My notes are even, my rhythm is even, but my notes are uneven. So I want you to think of a long, even line so far as sound. Okay, and what I would advocate is the left hand to be short on these ones. So, and you don't even have to pedal it. So you just hold that last note of each in the left hand, the last note of each measure is a dotted quarter note, and the other ones are the eighth notes. So I'd be short on those eighth notes. Same thing if you look down to the B section. You gotta hold those dotted half notes, and then short, short, hold. So in the end, on the end of the measure, you're holding down all of those notes, the F sharp, C, and the D. And then, okay, so that will give you nice texture. Now, I want to think about another concept. I presented this in the video I did on the Wild Horseman. This is something called Directional Dynamics. Overall, if you look at the direction the line is going, your dynamics can express that way. So if you're crescendoing up, you can usually, or if your line is moving up, you can usually crescendo. If your line is moving down, you can diminuendo. So let's take a look at what that would do. Something like that would be nice. Also, in my edition, you see this slur, and I'm pretty sure this is Burgmuller's original mark. The slur ends there, and then this is the new phrase. I think that's significant, because you want to feel it just taper off a little and then ease into the next phrase. It's kind of like the ocean. it crashes, the waves crash in and then they pull back, but they kind of join the momentum of the next wave. So right here, come down and then feel it push forward again. Okay, now let's think of this. This is just a little bit of an intro. Let's think of this next part as one long phrase. Where is that moving to? What's the highest point? I think the highest point, just register-wise, is that G. Right here. And then gets softer. Obviously, I overdid that dynamic level. That was on purpose to show each of you. So, crescendo, and then a little crescendo diminuendo, and then biggest, and then come down even more from that level. This whole idea of shaping over an extended phrase rather than just each individual thing, like some students will bring try to put so much emotion into each phrase that the music stops breathing. It's breathing so much that it's almost like hyperventilating. Like, you don't want that. You want gradual phrases. And you might think, well, duh, that's such a simple concept. But it's actually the hardest concept in music, in my opinion. You know, I'm working on Schumann Sonata right now. So, and I've only spent like maybe a few weeks on that, but it's still such a challenge for me, even after playing for 20 years, to see these long phrases. So let's try and put all of this together now. This time a little more. Taper, just a little bit. Come down a little there. Okay, now this B section, a little softer and more gentle. Then a little more insistent, since we just saw kind of the same phrase. Now it's just elaborated a little bit with the grace note. I'm going to do that one more time. Now start a long crescendo with little diminuendos inserted. What I mean by that is, yes, this line ultimately goes there, and then it comes down again, so it's diminuendo, diminuendo, but overall I feel like the music is growing all the way to there, and then it resolves. So one more time right there. And then very soft, he marks dolce, meaning sweet. And so on. And then the very last thing I want to tell each of you, whenever you see staccatos underneath a slur, like you do at the end here, that's referred to as portato or portamento, meaning just to carry over. It's a violin term. I learned it from a great violinist, actually. And he was just saying you disconnect it, but you still maintain a little bit of staccato in there. So imagine a bow at that point, just yum, bum, 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 like that. So rather than, it's not that and it's not this. It's somewhere in between. And you have to determine how much you want. That's a stylistic, personal touch that you can put on there. I hope this has been helpful. If any of you guys have questions, just email me. My email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Also, if you'd like to audition for Skype lessons with me, email me at the same address. If you'd like to enter this month's giveaway, you can click my blog link below. Each month I'm doing a different giveaway. If you'd like to get on my email list to find out about those, you can do that through my blog. Also, I have links for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me today and all of your support. This is such a fun project. It's ongoing, and I always enjoy hearing from you. Thanks and have a great week.